Wow, have we seen some epic moves in the bond markets the last few days? The yield on the 10-year Treasury bond spiked to 3.5% on Tuesday. That pushed mortgage rates to yearly highs. The rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage jumped to 6.28% according to Mortgage News Daily. Inflation is raging and consumers are losing patience. If they aren't being priced out of the market, many buyers are hitting the pause button. Home affordability has been absolutely crushed the last few months as the Powell Fed tries to make up for lost time and wasted opportunities to curtail inflation. Tomorrow's FOMC meeting will certainly be interesting. It won't really matter if the Fed hikes 50 basis points or 100. Either way, Jerome is going to be behind the curve. The Fed let the markets boil far too long and ignored the consequences. Now the bubble is begging to be burst. If you are in the market to buy a home, here are some tips to navigate this bubble as it unwinds. Okay, let's get started. Tip number 1, be patient. The post-pandemic housing bubble is unraveling as the Federal Reserve drains liquidity and demand out of the markets. Let the market sort this out while you are finding the right home that fits your needs. The Fed spent years juicing asset prices and fueling demand. It could take years for them to unwind the inflationary monster they created. No one knows for certain how long and how deep the correction will be. This was a liquidity-driven policy era of epic proportions. It was years in the making. It's going to take time and effort to sort everything out, so don't get in a rush. The panic buying is coming to an end. Inventory is coming back to the market, though it may take a while to completely normalize. Wait for your opportunity and be ready to capitalize when you see it. Tip number 2, find competent representation. Remember the agents who encourage buyers to do foolish things like waiving inspections and getting into bidding wars? You should avoid these people like the plague. There were plenty of sell-side charlatans who encouraged reckless behavior during the pandemic. They don't deserve your business. Find a professional buyer rep who appreciates the concept of fiduciary duty. Find a partner who understands why this pandemic-driven boom took place and why it is now unraveling. You'll find that's a much smaller pool of licensed real estate agents. Tip number 3, know your limits. Higher mortgage rates have completely changed the landscape. Your purchase price limit may need to be recalibrated with rates now above 6%. Find a good lender and know what you qualify for. Obtain a legitimate pre-qualification. That involves more than a phone conversation. You will need to submit a full application and documentation to back it up. Understand your financing options and your loan limits with various products. This could include fixed rate or variable rate loan products. Even if you are paying cash, it helps to have a budget in mind so you don't stretch yourself beyond your means. Tip number 4, be rational, not emotional. This is no time to fall in love with a home. Don't get emotional. Many sellers are still in denial, so don't take the bait. That eye candy may look fabulous, but you want to evaluate the entire package. Forget the love letter to the seller. You might as well stamp the word sucker to your forehead if you want to go that route. Instead, focus on what matters. Look at things which add value to the equation, like location, floor plan, and structural features. And don't forget the dirt. They call it real estate for a reason. What are you actually getting for your money? What is your threshold for breaking even on the purchase? Those are important questions you need to answer when the market is correcting. Tip number 5, consider all your options. You may have been set on a single-family home in a perfect master plan community. Maybe that's not the ideal fit for you. There may be better options if you look in a different neighborhood or consider different property types. The pandemic housing bubble and work-from-home dynamic were interesting developments. The bid for the burbs was intense, sparking some seriously crazy activity. Work from home appears to have some staying power, but markets are still adjusting to find the new normal. Tip number 6, tread cautiously with new construction. There are a record number of housing units under construction in the United States. The housing shortage story made for some great headlines, but it was mostly a sell-side narrative facilitated by the real estate industry to spur more sales. There are tens of thousands of developed lots coming to the North Texas housing market. Some of it is still backlogged, but 6% mortgage rates are an entirely new dynamic for builders trying to unload their inventory at all-time high prices. When I spoke with a local builder rep recently regarding flexibility on pricing, her response was memorable. She told me she would get the pricing as low as she could without getting fired. Builders are finally starting to get motivated again, but we're early in the game. The motivation will improve as the housing bubble unwinds and they have to compete for buyers again. Tip number 7, consider renting. Renting may not be your ideal alternative, but it beats locking in record high prices in a Fed tightening cycle. Would you rather pay a temporary monthly premium for 6 to 12 months, or catch a falling knife and possibly lose your shirt? There will be plenty of people experiencing buyer's remorse this year, especially if they didn't have a sizable down payment for an equity cushion. You don't have to be one of those people. Renting could be the better option in the short run. Be sure to factor in your moving and storage costs into the equation if you're going to compare renting versus buying. That's it for now. I hope you found these tips to be helpful. If you need professional buyer representation, I'm just a phone call away. For more information on North Texas homes and real estate, give me a call. I look forward to hearing from you.